Hey, what is up, everybody? Chase and Alan here, bringing you another edition of Chase and Alan Talks. This episode, we're going to be talking about the upcoming UFC Fight Night 27. Now, if you guys don't know, the Fight Night series was on the Spike TV, but then afterwards, when they signed the Fox card, the Fox deals and stuff like that, the Fight Night shows disappeared pretty much completely. And now the Fight Nights are back because Fox is moving to Fuel TV. No, not Fuel TV. Speed TV. Am I right, Alan? Is it Speed TV?
Yeah, now they're calling it Fox Sports 1.
I like this. I like that they're making it Fox Sports 1. I still have the Fuel TVs, which they should just really name Fuel TV UFC TV. Because, Alan, you said you don't have the Fuel TVs, right?
No.
The Fuel TV is seriously the UFC network. It's like the best of Pride, the best of UFC from all angles, UFC countdown shows, old UFC pay-per-views. Like recently, they were just showing a UFC 158 on there, on the Fuel TVs. They were just showing it on there. They should just call it the UFC network. Because everything is UFC. Everything's all UFC on there. The only thing that's not is when they show dirt bikes and shit. But we got a huge card. This is going to be a fucking great card to kick off, their debut on Fox Sports 1. This is probably one of their best cards they've had free for a long-ass time.
Absolutely, yeah. I just have a quick question for you. We're talking about, the fight night concept and everything. Do you have any memories from the fight nights? Do you have any, memorable moments? I got two.
Carlos Condit fighting a bunch of times on the fight nights and kicking ass. Chris Lieben being the king of fight nights. Kenny Florian versus, I forgot who he was fighting, but he fought someone on the fight nights.
Gomi.
Yeah, Gomi. That was a good fucking fight.
Yeah. So my first is one that, as much as I'm not really a fan of him, when Chuck Congo came back and knocked out Pat Barry.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
That was insane. Another one that stands out, I think this was the last one ever, when Ellenberger knocked out Shields in 52 seconds. That was the first time Shields got finished in, I think, 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Jake Shields was on a miraculous streak of actually being wonderful to watch. Now he's just kind of boring. But Fight Night 1, really, to be honest, has everything you ever want. Every division is pretty much being featured on this card. It's amazing. We got some good undercards. The one that I like the most, that I wish could make the main card, is Brad Pickett versus Michael McDonald. Oh my God, I wish that was on the main card. That fight would be so
and that's
awesome.
Kind of unfortunate because, McDonald just coming off the title fight, and he actually gave Henan Burrell a hell of a fight. I thought he took it to him for a little bit. And Brad Pickett's always been, maybe not number one contender, but he's always been around. He's delivered some nice knockouts. So.
And he's fun to watch.
But what are you going to do?
Yeah, he's fun to watch too, but this is definitely a great preliminary card. It's also on Fox Sports 1, this preliminary card, so it's actually pretty cool. I think it's like the first time in UFC history where they've had like a preliminary card on the same channel as the event. This is the first time ever, so this looks like a good one. But we start off with, what do you call those awards? Like Fight of the Night awards? We start off with the king of all getting extra money, Joe Lozon, taking on Michael Johnson. This fight is actually kind of interesting, but it's good that this is kicking off the card because we damn know for sure Joe Lozon is going to do some crazy submission, either a crazy knockout, or he's going to pound with this guy for 3 rounds, and it's going to be a fun fight to watch to start off the show.
Yeah, and just kind of doesn't, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I'm writing about it this week, but you see guys like Joe Lozon, then we'll get to the rest of the guys like Uriah Hall, Matt Brown, and, even Faber to extent. Like, they're taking a lot of the lower card guys. Faber's not a lower card guy, but, they're taking kind of lower card guys and putting them on this card because they're putting together the most exciting fights where they have, like, a lot of buzz on the internet. So, to me, it's, just kind of interesting that Lozon's opening it up because it's like, yeah, the UFC has, they have a lot of faith in him. But, I don't know, Michael Johnson, he sort of lost 2 straight. If he loses another one, pretty sure he's going to get cut because I don't know, he's been kind of a disappointment. He won the Ultimate, actually lost the Ultimate Fighter, but I don't know, he's been inconsistent, I think.
Yeah, Michael Johnson, he has a chance to upsetting Joe Lozon, but his last 2 losses, they're like the Darce choke loss to Reza Madadi, that was just, it wasn't fun to watch. I felt bad for the dude because it looked really pathetic. I mean, he was kind of winning the fight in the first round, but then afterwards he kind of just fell off. But he was
going to finish with a head kick.
He was tired. No, he got kicked. He got choked out by a Darce choke.
No, I'm saying I thought he was going to finish because I remember watching that. Because I remember Mitch Rayon was on that card and Lusasi. I remember watching him he landed a vicious head kick. I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna finish it. And then Madadi just, he pulled it out, I guess, in the end. It was just a weird fight overall.
Yeah, I feel he has conditioning problems too. I feel like most of the time he can't finish it in the third round. Like the first 2 rounds, you see Michael Johnson, he looks great, but then afterwards he just looks really tired out. He could pull off the win here because he does have some knockout power in him. But Joe Lozon, he's just always overall complete fighter. He's always someone that will give 100% in that octagon. So I don't know. I would say Lozon be a unanimous decision because I feel like this is going to be also maybe one of Joe Lozon's boring fights, but I don't know. I highly
He's
doubt
a conditioning machine, but another thing with Lozon is Michael Johnson. He's been known to, not the best when it comes to defending submission. So I could see possibly submission, but Lozon, he gets a lot of accolades and he is very talented. But like I said, he's, there's a reason why he's the opening fight because he's not very. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here, but he's had some disappointing performances, I guess you could say, right?
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. And now,
one last thing, remember Anthony Pettis fight because I thought going to that fight, like, man, he could really do something against Pettis, and then
Pettis hit that nasty ass leg kick. I mean, not leg kick, a head kick. Oh god, that snapped like that was like shin to fucking cheek, dude. That was nasty. I was kind of freaking out, but Uriah Hall, middleweight extraordinaire. Apparently, CHAEL thinks he's a top 10 middleweight contender. Well, he kind of choked in the Ultimate Fighter finale that he was supposed to win. Because, let's face it, Uriah Hall was supposed to win that fucking fight. It's taking on against John Howard, who was a former UFC fighter, but he kind of left. And John Howard, he has some advantage. He's from Boston. He's going Boston strong here. This is all about hashtag Boston strong. And we're going to see one of those mystical things in sports where the guy has so much momentum, he's going to win this fight. I'm betting John Hall wins. Second round KO against Uriah Hall. And I like Uriah Hall. But the thing about Uriah Hall is if he's going to do what Uriah Hall did to Kelvin Gastelum, I don't want to watch Uriah Hall. I want to watch Uriah Hall that does spinning leg kicks and shit.
I think he's going to be extremely motivated. Like, I think he kind of, not just motivated, but I don't think he's going to, misjudge his opponent. Like, I think he's obviously knowing that he can't walk his way into the fight and just think he's going to win right away. Because if he loses this, I'm not saying he's going to be cut, but he's probably going to go to the undercard, and then if he loses again, he could, be cut. I don't care what hype train it is. To me, it's like, you lose 3 straight, you're definitely in danger. So, this is interesting because John Howard, how long has he been gone?
He's been gone since UFC Live, Barry versus Congo, I believe.
Oh, man, so he's been gone for at least a few years now. Yeah. It's an interesting fight. I think what helps Hall in this fight is that, Howard's going to stand up. He's not gonna, I don't think he's going to go for many takedowns. So that does help with Hall, but it's dangerous, though. I'm not sure if you want to say this is an easier opponent because who's used to fight? Nick Ring, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who would you think was a tougher matchup for him, Ring or Howard?
Well, because Nick Ring would play Uriah Hall's game. I haven't seen Josh Howard as much because he was in CES, and I don't know where to watch CES fighting. But when I saw Josh Howard fight, he was someone that was more of a counter striker. He was smart with his game plan. He wouldn't play the other person's game. So he has a better shot because Nick Ring's fun to watch. Like, I'm not saying Nick Ring's bad. He's fun to watch, but that's the thing about Nick Ring. He likes to entertain the fans more than trying to win the fight.
Yeah, well, his last fight with Chris Camozzi, that wasn't exactly an entertaining fan. The fight was brutal. If you remember that, that was on the Diaz GSP card.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think Hall should take it to the ground in this fight because watching the Ultimate Fighter, you saw what he did, not to just Bubba, because Bubba was standing up, but he did to that. You watched Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, I watched a little bit. I watched clips. It's just because it was on a time where I had classes, so I couldn't really watch it, and I didn't have good DVR back then, so I couldn't watch it.
There was one fight. I think it was against. Oh, you got that? Hold up.
Yeah.
You're an okay.
Well,
there was one fight that I think against Ultimate Fighter. It was this guy. I think it was Dylan Andrews. I think his name was. He got him on the ground. I think with like 2 punches. Dylan Andrews literally had to go to like the hospital or something, and they had to like. They actually
used the ambulance finally in the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, like I think
Oh shit.
Paul with like 2 strikes on the ground just annihilate him. So this is a dangerous guy, man. Like, I'm not sure if I want to buy into all the hype of Rival because I'm not really on hype trains. I like Conor McGregor is another hype train, and I do love his story. But to me, I'm gonna wait till guys beat top 10 guys. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on Rival. He needs this window bad. I think he needs in convincing fashion.
I agree. If he doesn't, I just feel this is going to be one of those random time in sports where you see those mystical powers and the irony of sports, and it's going to be like when Chris Lieben came. Did you watch the Chris Lieben Akiyama fight when Lieben he was on
Oh,
that hype train? And
yeah.
he took that 2 week notice, and it was just the most amazing thing because Lieben had no shot against Yoshiro, and he came out and he was fighting like he was losing the fight, and then he pulled off that arm triangle out of nowhere, and then everyone went crazy. That was UFC 116. If you guys have not seen that fucking show, go watch that fucking show. One of the best cards. Yeah, one of the best cards. Lesnar versus Carwin. Like, I think there was only one disappointing fight, but other than that, not a big deal. Next fight we have is Matt Brown versus Mike Pyle. Honestly, I'm not really that familiar with Matt Brown. I'm familiar with Mike Pyle, but Matt Brown is drawing a blank to me. What has Matt Brown done?
Well, Matt Brown's like, I wouldn't say high machine, but he's getting a lot of buzz because he's been a knockout machine. They put him on Fox the past few times. And he's been
he fought on the
Swick, a hell of a fight with Jordan Mean. I thought Jordan Mean was going to finish.
Okay, yeah, there we go. I remember that fight, the Jordan Mean fight. Yes, I do remember that. And the Swick fight, I do remember. I miss Quick Swick. Where is he?
Yeah, I don't know. I hear he's like a trainer now. I'm not sure if he retired, but he's very into like health now.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, for Matt Brown, he's kind of the comeback story. He was very consistent in his career. Now he's won 5 straight, and he was supposed to originally fight Thiago Alves, which would have been a really cool fight to see those two just go back and forth. But then again, I don't know. I try to like Thiago Alves, but then he doesn't make weight.
He doesn't make weight, or he gets injured. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, and he got injured, so I don't know. Mike Pyle though, he's kind of middle of the road. But one thing I give Mike Pyle credit is he is tough to finish, man.
Do you think this is why they put on this fight? Because Pyle is kind of known for like wanting to strike a lot with his opponents, and Matt Brown has been on this KO rampage that. They know that this could be one of those Forrest versus Shogun fights or the Stan versus Wanderlei fights that get the people that you call on your phone being like, yo, get on Fox Sports 1 to watch this fucking fight right now. These two are killing it. Is it that type of fight, do you think? Like they're trying to get, because they always try to do this. Like if you guys don't know the UFC on the free shows, you can find that one fight where they're trying to get like that Shogun and, no, not the Shogun, the Forrest Griffin and the Stephen Bonner fight. All over again and try to make your friends call you and say, hey, you gotta watch this. Because I've had that before where one of my friends are like, yo, you watching the UFC? I'm like, no, dude, I'm kind of just doing nothing. He's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm watching it. Settle down. Like, a lot of people get like that sometimes with crazy fights. So this could be a crazy good fight. They have 2 good fights, so 3 good fights actually so far on this card that are interesting.
Yeah. Mike Pyle, though, it's like, I think he's a good replacement, but I don't know, Matt Brown, I'm waiting for someone to catch Matt Brown, because if you watched him against fight, he just keeps pushing. I'm just waiting for somebody to counter hit him, with whether it's a jab or an uppercut. It's like, to me, I'm just waiting for Matt Brown to get finished because he fights so recklessly, and it's not like a Johnny Hendricks recklessly, because Johnny Hendricks, people give him shit for being reckless, but, the guy...
He's more controlled. He's like a controlled frenzy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, when I watch Matt Brown, I'm like, someone's got to get him eventually. And I thought Jordan Mean almost had him, but who knows? This is an interesting fight. I do like it, and I think Matt Brown, I know people want him to fight a top 10 guy. After this, we'll see. I think it's good.
Who's top 10 in the welterweight division that's free? Like, who's like free in the top 10?
But Koscheck keeps getting hurt all the time.
Yeah, because like you can't just give him like, all right, here's Condit. All right, here's this guy. Like, that's just pushing it. Like, there's hype trains, but sometimes you don't push it. Unless this guy is like the next Anderson Silva, that's when you put him against like a Condit. But yeah, maybe Nick Diaz can come back because he has a great counterpunch. Diaz, yeah, and he has a great chin.
True. I was thinking, man, Nick Diaz have a nice rematch with Robbie Lawler and just them roll it out.
No, because like Nick Diaz, he would be like, man, I like fighting that guy. He like a fucking hitter or whatever, man. So I'll fucking fight him. I don't give a fuck. Like, he would be like that, and then Nate would be like, "Yeah, man, and give me a shot at the lightweight title again, Dana."
I
Like,
don't know. All I know is, man, Nick Diaz is missing sport. Speaking of Diaz's, I hear Nate wants to come to welterweight. And I think I don't know if he's still on suspension, but maybe Matt Brown gets Nate Diaz. I don't know. To me, man, Nate Diaz, he should not go to welterweight because whenever I think of him at welter, I think of Roy McDonald German suplex him all around. That was just scary.
See, I feel bad for the Nate Diaz's and the Diego Sanchez's of the world that are like really good fighters, but the 155 champ is too big for them, and they're too small to really do shit in 170. And so I wish that their bodies would allow them to cut to 145, but there's no way they would, because Diego and Nate, they're two fun, exciting fighters, but their bodies cannot handle the cut to 140, which is upsetting because Diego would be such a beast at 140 if he fought Aldo. That would be such a good fight.
Man, that'd be crazy. Jesus.
Like, I feel bad for those two, like the Nate and Diego's, because Nate when he was at 150, dude, that guy was skinny as fuck. Imagine if he went to 155. Imagine if he went to 145. Oh, you would see the ribs pop out.
That's a good point. Damn, that is scary. The thing is, though, like, people look at Nate, like, he's skinny, but it's like, I don't know, he's not that huge. Like, I look at a guy, say, like, Roy McDonald, we already said, but, like, how about a guy like Jake Ellenberger? Like, to me, if Ellenberger fought Diaz, I don't know how Diaz would win.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know how he would win, because Ellenberger is like, think about this, like, Nate, he probably walks around at, like, what, 180, 190, and he's cutting down to 170. Ellenberger's probably walking around at, like, 220, 205 or some shit, cutting down. Like, that's a huge difference.
220, he's no Anthony Johnson now.
So, Thiago Alves, doesn't he walk around like 230 or something like that? Yes. He walks around heavy.
Dude, he hasn't fought in over a year. I don't know. But you heard the Anthony Johnson story when he weighed like 230 and he cut down to 170?
Yeah, and like and the one night. See, so many people wish they had the bodies of Vitor Belfort. If you had the body of Vitor Belfort, TRT or whatever it is, you could fight in any fucking division you want.
It's the power of Jesus, man.
Yeah, Jesus. Where's Jesus trying to find Vitor's sister? That's my question. Sorry, Vitor. I have to pull that on you. Uriah Faber, Mr. Every time he wins a match, he gets a title shot. Well, he's actually been fighting more. He hasn't fought anyone too intense. Faber, the California kid, is taking on Yuri Alcantara. I can't really pronounce his last name. Alcantara. And he's actually, Yuri, he had a good run going when he was in Jungle Fight. And then afterwards, the last WC card he was winning. And he was winning a bunch of fights. And then he ran into Hussein Diaz. And then afterwards, he got a no contest to Pedro. And now he's winning. He won against Madre Santos. He hasn't really fought anyone tough. So is this just another fight for Faber to win?
Yeah, it's weird. He's not a top 10 guy, and, he kind of fought in the prelims recently. He does present good matchup for him because, he is kind of big in a way, and he could, I don't know how I would rate his strength. He's very all around, though. But the issue with him is I'm worried about his cardio because, people like to Sean Fair, but give the guy credit. The guy he's nonstop.
Yeah, Faber just moves around, jumps around, and all that shit. Like,
on your face, and that's the thing, man. And, I'm looking for to see is what happens on the ground because both guys, Yuri, I think, is a black belt and Faber's a brown belt, but Faber doesn't care, man. He's going to take on the ground. He's going to look for that submission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's going to go for his guillotine. He's going to go for his rear naked. Like, those are his two bread and butter moves when it comes down to it. And also, he's like a scrapper on the ground. You get the dude on the ground, and he scraps his way into different positions. Like, he's hard to beat on the ground, and that's the thing. It's like Faber, he's winning fights and stuff, but he's not really facing anyone big. And Dominic Cruz, can you please just come back, man? Because the bantamweight division is on pause. This shit's on pause. Because Faber, I bet you this is what he's saying. Dana's like, hey, Faber, Uriah, we need you to fucking fight Renan Barão. And Faber's like, nah, dude, I ain't going to fight Renan again. My legs are still fucking sore from that last fight. I ain't fighting again. Once Cruz comes back, then I'll fight. And Dana's like, fuck. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because Uriah does not want to fight Renan Barão again. He does not want to fight Renan Barão again. Renan trades with Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo knows how to beat Faber. Renan Barão will beat Faber easily, so Faber's just waiting until Cruz comes back.
Yeah, that's a nice correlation there. But I will say, give props to Faber. This is the third time he's fighting this
Yeah.
year, which is very respectable. You know, some guys, you know, they take 6 months to fight again. This guy's fighting. I was shocked he actually took this fight. And to me, I would like to see Faber fight Michael McDonald here. You know,
Yeah, that would be a good fight.
tennis, but to me, they're just feeding guys for Faber at this point.
Because they want Faber to still look because like because Faber is not the most marketable guy in the UFC, but he is marketable. He's a good-looking guy. Women are gonna be like, "Oh, you're right, Faber." You know, he's from California. He's a chill dude when you meet him. You know, he's ripped as hell. People are like, "God damn, he's pretty damn good at fighting. He's exciting to watch." He's very marketable for the UFC, so the UFC wants to keep him safe. Anyone that's marketable for the UFC, they'll keep safe, even if they're not getting title shots. Like the Donald Cerrone's of the world. Donald Cerrone, you know what? They will put him against easy guys. They don't care if he wins or loses. He puts on great fights every time he fights. Speaking of which, when's Cerrone fighting again? Do you know?
It's fine. We talked about it a few weeks ago. The Fight Night 2 card.
Oh, Fight Night 2? Great.
He's in the co-main event, man. I'm so pumped. Cerrone and Condit on the same card.
Dude, that's going to be an amazing card. August 28th. Well, only
Wednesday
on Fox
night,
Sports
man.
1.
First time they bring out Wednesday night fights in a long
If you don't
time.
like Wednesday night fights, fuck you. As Dana White would say.
Wait, you're a fan of it or no?
I love Wednesday night fights because it gives me something to watch on Wednesdays. Because there's nothing on Wednesdays, really. Like, if you think about it.
That's a very good point. And it's a cool concept, but I will say this: putting on, you know, they're doing a Wednesday and then they're having a Saturday pay-per-view. I don't think that's really good.
Yeah, that can burn out the fans a little bit and confuse people too, because MMA fans are not really the brightest in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Just like I said, it's kind of overexposure in a way. But you know, as a fan, you know, Condit and Mir and Barnett and Pettis and Henderson and Cerrone are all fighting the same week.
That's fun to watch.
I'm gonna be like a kid in the candy store watching. And Dustin Poirier, I totally forgot Poirier's fighting Eric Hope on that.
Ooh, that's a good fight. I like that.
It's an opener, man. That's gonna be fucking flying.
Winner gets to be Jose Aldo's next victim.
Oh, I don't know about that, man. Don't say that, man. They gotta get Frankie in the show.
Oh yeah, Frankie. I want a rematch. Give me my belt back.
if Frankie beats Cub.
Oh yeah, he has. Is he facing Cub? Is that confirmed?
It's not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a weird feeling that Ricardo Lamas is gonna fight Aldo next. I don't know. I just got that gut feeling.
I agree. ALISTAIR OVEREEM is taking on my favorite Travis Browne, but I call him Travis Brownie just because I always think at first when I read his name for the first time I thought it said Brownie, but it's actually Brown. But Travis Browne is coming in here, and in all honesty, I like Travis Browne. Like I said, Travis Brownie is one of my faves to watch. But this is just feeding OVEREEM. You're just feeding OVEREEM someone, so that way OVEREEM can win. Go, all right, I predicted how the fight would go. I knew that I was going to do that move. I knew I was going to knee him in the gut. I'm going to go fight for the heavyweight title. I mean, in all honesty, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Chase, what about Roy Nelson and Daniel Cormier? Okay, if Kane somehow beats Junior again or something like that, Cormier is going to be like, yo, man, I ain't going to fight him. That's not my style. So, this is for OVEREEM to become number one contender.
Don't forget about Verdum. That's all I'm going to say. Don't forget about Verdum.
They're not going to give anything to Verdum. They're going to give this to OVEREEM because OVEREEM is the only one that's interesting. Like, everyone knows who OVEREEM is.
That's a good point. I don't know, but to me, man, I think Kane's on that level now where he can fight whoever and people are going to watch. He's got the huge fan.
No, yeah, I know that, but OVEREEM is the more interesting matchup than versus Verdum, versus Nelson, versus, let's say if Cormier actually did something and wanted to fight Kane. Like, OVEREEM is still known. It doesn't matter that he lost to Silva. It's like OVEREEM is still big. Like, you know, he's on the JDS level, and also they still want to do JDS versus OVEREEM somehow.
Yeah, I just think, man, they're gonna have OVEREEM at least to win 2 fights because the thing is, OVEREEM, they're gonna show that clip of him getting knocked out by Bigfoot, and people are gonna be sketchy about it. And this isn't the hardcore fans. This is the moderate fans. I'm like, oh man, we had a lot of faith in OVEREEM. He beat the big bad Brock Lesnar, but then he loses to Bigfoot. It's like, come on now. To me, if they beat a guy like Travis Browne who isn't very well known, it's like, what's the point of this? You know, I personally would do OVEREEM Verdum next. You know, make that the number one contender.
I do not want to see that fight again. Did you watch that fight the first time?
That I've heard a lot of that, but But hey, let's not forget, maybe Josh Barnett wins. Maybe you put Josh Barnett somewhere around that.
That's true if Barnett wins, because honestly, I just do not want. I just think this is a fight for Overeem because it's on free TV. UFC knows Overeem is someone that draws money. He's an interesting. He looks different than any other UFC fighter you look at. He looks like someone straight out of a comic book, and he sounds funny to boot. I mean, he has every qualities what it takes to be big in the UFC. He's a great fighter. But he's just, I don't know. I hope he wins this fight, Overeem, just because he is Dutch and I'm somewhat Dutch. So go Overeem. But Overeem, I feel like he would get the title shot next. I feel like he would be the number one contender.
They seem down on it, man. You don't see a lot of people. Because you notice with Overeem, like every fight he's in is like so much buzz. This is kind of under the radar in a way. And another thing with this is
the only reason why this is under the radar because CHAEL P is in the main event.
That's a good point. Don't forget about CHAEL P. But I do have faith that Overeem's gonna come in shape and he's got a lot of endurance. But I'm really interested if Brown could get this into the third round. I don't know. To me, Brown, he's always in great shape. He's always aggressive. If he could do something in the third round, who knows, man? I wouldn't totally give this to Overeem. Overeem, he needs to finish this in the first 2 rounds that night.
Travis Brown, just take down Overeem and hit him with some elbows. I heard that's his weakness. I heard.
It's very hard to take down Overeem.
Yeah.
He's a freaking monster. But Brown is 6'7". I said Brown is a very good match for him because he does have the height. He is very strong, and I think he is pretty athletic, but whenever I think of Brown, man, I think of that Superman punch on Struve. Never seen, but I'm pretty sure Overeem is, the guy's a K1 champion. He's not going to be doing stupid flying knees like freaking Stefan Struve.
Travis Brown, I'm going to revenge what you did to my teammate, Stefan Struve. And I pictured the fight already. I'm going to kick you a couple times, play with you, fight with my hands down, and get knocked out. That's what's going to happen.
I do like Overeem in the fight, but like I said, he has to finish the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe because Overeem has shown in the past that his conditioning sucks ass. So,
which is weird because you look at the guy, he looks like $1 million.
Oh, that's what steroids does.
That physically doesn't mean endurance.
Yeah, because like if you're muscular, like a lot of people don't understand. People who are super muscular, like some people will watch the UFC and be like, "How come that muscular dude doesn't look all fresh and stuff?" Because muscles suck in your oxygen, and you don't get a lot of oxygen being muscular. That's why, like, when you see the lightweight guys, why most of them are not super muscular is because, like, look at Frankie Edgar. He's a perfect example. He's muscular. He's probably stronger than me, but he's not, like, ripped like Benson. And that's what gives Frankie such great cardio is because he doesn't have a lot of muscle mass that causes less of the body to breathe more oxygen. Muscle's not always good for you people. Just know that.
That's a good analysis.
Yep. And now we get on to the main event, 5 rounds, which I highly doubt this will go, of UFC action between Mauricio Shogun Hua taking on CHAEL P. Sonnen in a light heavyweight bout. And does this... I like this fight because it's like, we all know CHAEL P is going to be entertaining. CHAEL is going to be funny during the post-fight, pre-fight, after the fight, before the fight. You're gonna get some entertainment from Sonnen. Shogun has been wanting to fight Sonnen. I think this is if Shogun loses, do you think he's in trouble? Like if he loses this fight, because he did lose to Gopastan, and then afterwards he would have a second loss under his record. Do you think like if Shogun loses this fight in a bad fashion that he should hang up the gloves? Because he's not looking like the Mauricio Shogun Rua that everyone knows and love. I mean, the dude's 31, but he looks kind of out of it.
It's crazy. He's only 31, which, definitely not old, compared to some other guys. You look at some guys like 34, 35, guys like Verdum and Mir, and, Mark Hunt's 39, too. That's also insane. So, it's crazy. Like, the last time I seen him in great shape, the Henderson fight, it was crazy and good job, but, like, to me, the Forrest fight was like the last time. Like even that win against Brandon Vera, to me, he kind of looked like crap.
Oh yeah, he looked like fat Shogun.
High kicks. He's like, I'm just gonna beat Brandon Vera, whatever. This guy's not gonna finish me. And Brandon actually had some nice combos on. I'm not gonna lie, but you have to think that he'd be motivated. First of all, he was supposed to fight in June, and then he backed up to August. You have to think he's had 2 opportunities to get in really good shape by now. So yeah, I think he will, but yeah, give props to CHAEL, man. The guy, he could non-stop moving. He's like Faberman. He's a cardio machine. So
And also his wrestling is just top notch. Like my biggest fear is this is going to be another Chael Sonnen vintage fight where he hits the double leg takedown on you, bam, bam, bam for 5 rounds. Because Shogun, he will get tired if someone like the first Forrest fight. Everyone did not expect Forrest Griffin to do a takedown. The reason why that fight was made was because Forrest Griffin's known just for standing there and brawling with you. No one expected, Forrest to take down Shogun. And Shogun, when it comes to takedowns, it's just like, that's his kryptonite. Because when he gets taken down, all of a sudden he just gives up. He just lays there. He does that little, I don't know what you call it, like a random hammer fist in the air that does nothing to the opponent. He just lays there, and he doesn't even try to go to submissions. Like, okay, I get it, people. He's Brazilian. But not every fucking Brazilian has a background in jiu-jitsu. Not everyone. I am sick and tired of hearing this. Like the JDS versus Kane fight when everyone's like, don't forget about JDS's jiu-jitsu. What fucking jiu-jitsu? What? He may train it, but he doesn't execute it. Shogun, to me, has not executed his Brazilian jiu-jitsu since fucking Pride.
Man, you sound like Frank Mir, because you ever see that clip? Mir's like, well, JDS has jiu-jitsu, that's all bullshit, when you were saying that, but could you really see Chael submitting him, though? I know Chael, he's had some submissions with this, but I don't know.
If he gets Shogun, if Shogun's in the 3rd round, which most likely, and he's beaten up, he's fat and he's tired, because I don't know what Shogun are we going to get. Are we going to get the Shogun that fought Lyoto or Forrest the 2nd time, like you said? Or are we going to get the Shogun that shows up back to the John Jones fight, to the Brandon Vera fight, to his last recent fights? Are we going to get that back?
Shogun fight looked like garbage.
Yeah, I mean, Shogun to me, like, if he shows up back, Chael won this fight because Chael's always going to be looking great in shape and all that other stuff, and he's going to take him down. If it's a 3rd round, if Chael can get through that arm triangle, it's over. If he can get to the arm triangle, it's over for Shogun because Shogun will lay there and he'll be like, it is going to be like, it is all over. Shogun Rua has tapped up the Chael Sonnen. And then Chael Sonnen will call out Vitor Belfort after this fight.
Oh, goody. Well, I think Shogun's going to be more fired up for this because obviously Chael's reputation with the Brazilians isn't very good. To me, though, Shogun, do you think he's becoming like the new Rampage? And not personality-wise, but you think like it's really like it's becoming so unpredictable if we're going to see the right, the old Shogun who like that was the thing with Rampage. It's like, are we going to see the old Rampage? Or are we going to see old guest out when he fought Rashad Rampage?
Yeah, that's the thing because like. Let's think about it. Like Shogun, when he was in Pride, he was dominant. He was going to fight Forrest Griffin. He showed up really bad shape. He sucked against Mark Coleman. He only looked good against Chuck Liddell. The first Lyoto fight, he should have won. Then the second Lyoto fight, he did win by KO. And then ever since then, besides that second Forrest Griffin fight, he's just looked like shit. Like, yeah, he has a chin. Yeah, he can go for a long time, but he hasn't impressed me. It's not like, man, that Shogun Rua, he's impressed me. Like, I just feel like we're always going to get this gassed out because people forget Shogun's been fighting since he was like 20 years old. Like this dude was fighting like so young ago. He was fighting when he was like 20 years old and stuff like that. So, he's been fighting for a long time. And, his prime could have been when he was 24 years old. His prime could have been pushed early because fighters, they're different when they come to primes than like football players or basketball players. Like if you've been fighting since you were like 14, like Floyd Mayweather's prime was pretty much when he was 25 to 29 years old. Floyd Mayweather today is not like Floyd Mayweather from 25 to 29 years old. So his prime could have hit like from he was 24 to 27 years old, and then afterwards he was done. Because in football, your prime for football is normally 27. But for fighting, it's totally different. I don't know why. It's weird. Some weird science. Joe Rogan was breaking it down or some shit. So I said, yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Well, could you see, though, Chael taking him down for 5 rounds? That's the thing. If it was 3 rounds, I would pretty much say, all right, Sonnen's definitely taking this. But, Sonnen, he's never had the greatest chin in the world. I know he could take punishment, but still, Shogun, he still could be a deadly striker, though.
Yeah, well, it depends, because Chael knows how to set up his shots. He's not like most people that just like go, all right, I'm going to just dive in and at your legs like Phil Davis. He sets up his shots. So if Shogun can catch him, because that's the thing about Shogun, he's a good counterpuncher. He knows how to flail those arms to catch you. If he can catch him as Chael is trying to do a takedown, then yeah, Shogun could get a good shot on Chael. But that's what he needs. He needs to catch Chael while Chael is going for a takedown to win this fight.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. This is the ultimate toss up to me because the first 5 fights. I'm like, all right, it's a clear winner to Matthews win. This is kind of a toss up because I want to say the oldest Shogun's gonna show up, but then it's like, I don't know. I can just see Chael totally outworking him.
Dude, no matter what, if Shogun Rua is on top of Chael, it doesn't matter how gassed Shogun is. Shogun's still dangerous if you're on the fucking ground and he can jump on you, because Shogun will flurry you and it will be dangerous. Chael is dangerous if he has your back. Okay, if you're on your back and Chael's pounding on you, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do because he has great posturing. He knows how to keep you down. I feel to me that this fight will go 4 rounds and Shogun will hit a miraculous random knee and then do his traditional Shogun swarm, and it will be all over. But it still wouldn't matter because Chael Sonnen will cut something funny to fight Vitor Belfort at UFC 168.
I think Shogun wants to face a little Nog next, which...
Why? Is he mad at Black House? Black House, take me. I won't fight.
Nogueira, to me, Lil Nog, he's been such a... I don't know if the word flop is the right word to use here.
No, he's been a flop because this motherfucker was supposed to take over. I like Nogueira, but I think his UFC run has not been tremendous. Like Big Nog, I don't think his UFC run has been tremendous.
Well, at least Big Nog's been in like really exciting moments in fights to me. And yes, I know Big Nog's been getting knocked. He's gotten knocked out at times, but like at least he's like finishing fights. Nogueira, it's like Lil Nog here. It's just it's. Look at the Rashad fight. Look at the fight with Phil Davis, and trying to think of who else did he fight off the time. Jason Brills, I think he fought too. It's like he hasn't really done a lot. It's like these tick for tack fights. It's like you see his brothers just go all out, and he just hit me. It's like jab here. He talks about his jiu-jitsu. I haven't seen him gone to the ground in ages. Yeah,
I agree with Little Nog. Yeah, he's been a flop because he was supposed to take over the light heavyweight division. And he hasn't done any of taking over the light heavyweight. His biggest win is against Rashad. Did Rashad just turn down a fight? Like he was supposed to fight someone, but they're friends?
Just fight Vitor, that's his teammate.
What, Black Zillions? I thought that shit died.
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I was trying to think of the last opponent, Lil Nog fought. He beat Tito, and oh my god, I remember you reviewed this pay-per-view. The guy beat Tito by punching him in the body like 20 times.
Yep.
That was the most pathetic things ever.
Tito versus Rampage. Let's talk about that for a minute, Ali.
Tito,
Let's talk about Tito and Rampage. You excited for that?
Oh wait, so you picked Shogun? I have Shogun.
I have Shogun in the 4th round. I think Shogun will win KO in the 4th round because Chael will do something stupid like he did in the Anderson Silva 2nd fight where he decided to do a spinning back fist.
I'm gonna say Shogun. No, I'm gonna say Sonnen tries to go for a flying knee or something, gets caught by an uppercut or something.
No, because I think Chael can win this fight, but he's going to do something where it's out of his game plan and it's going to cost him. Like, look at the John Jones fight. Like, dude, you clearly had that first round in your control, and then you just let Jones just take over like a mat. He's too small. He's not small for light heavyweights, but he's just not big enough, like strong enough for the light heavyweights.
Very bad. Totally agree. If it was 3 rounds, I'd take Sonnen because I think Sonnen could definitely play and pray for 3 rounds. But this is 25 minutes, and I'm going to go with Shogun. So, as for Rampage Jada, I want to be excited for his fight because I really do like Rampage to an extent because I just think Rampage still has value. Like, he's still exciting to me.
Yeah.
Like, he can still have a knockout here and there. Even though I do think his conditioning is a joke, and I don't think he takes his career very seriously, but whatever.
Dude, I think ever since he lost when Rampage, he stopped giving shit in the MMA world when he lost his light heavyweight title to Forrest. Because did you ever watch that fight, the Forrest Rampage fight?
Yeah, it was great, but do you really think so? I thought he was somewhat motivated when he fought not John Jones, Rashad.
No, that Rampage was not motivated. That motherfucker was so... Okay, who knocks down Rashad and then all of a sudden starts swarming on him and then lays the fuck down and then not realize, hey, Rashad's still hurt. The old Rampage would have still swarmed on him. He was just tired. Like, he stopped giving a shit. Like, he could put on that ferocious face all he wants, But you know Rampage just stopped giving a shit. Because, like, he was so pissed off still that Forrest won the light heavyweight title. And personally, I thought Rampage won that fight, in my personal opinion. But Rampage was still pissed off about that. And ever since that fight, he's been pissed off that he has not been giving all the light heavyweight title shots in the world. I mean, come on, this is Quentin Rampage Jackson. Like, before Brock Lesnar, you know, and once Chuck Liddell ended, who were all the casual fans talking about? Rampage, Rampage. Like, he was the easiest name to remember. His name was fucking Rampage. And he howled like a wolf. That was badass.
I know, but the thing is, like, you said he stopped giving a shit in, again, after the Force. That was in 2008, man. It's like...
Yeah, and he wasn't doing...
so many times since then. You know, you talk about when he knocked out Randall, when, you know, obviously there was shot fight stands out. The John Jones fight, I don't think he gave a shit. Because I remember listening to those interviews, and he's like, I just want to put on a side fight. You know, he clearly said the title doesn't mean much. He just wanted to beat John Jones for the element. But I don't know. I remember when he beat Machida, which was, you know,
that fight was hilarious. When Machida lost and Rampage was like, "What? What?"
You know, and I don't like the Matt Hamill fight. I barely even remember. Just, you know, that was just...
I just feel like Rampage has just not been super mode because, like, the old Rampage, like, because, like, I remember I was watching the Best of Rampage DVD, which has, like, pretty much Rampage's career, great fights from Pride, and all his fights in the UFC up to that point when he won the Wanderlei fight. And yeah, he did look good against Wanderlei, but I feel like Rampage, whenever, like, he never got, like, the title shot, he was always disappointed. He was like, I deserve a title shot, because he was a big draw for the UFC. He always felt, you know, he should deserve a title shot. And sometimes when Rampage would get injured, he wouldn't understand why they wouldn't push a fight back for him, because he is Rampage Jackson. And he saw other fights get pushed back then, too. Because remember, Lesnar and Mir was supposed to be UFC 98, but it got pushed back to UFC 100. Rashad and Rampage were supposed to be at UFC 98. But all of a sudden, they wouldn't want to push back Rashad and Rampage to a UFC 100 or a UFC 101. They wanted to keep Rashad at 98, so they gave Rashad a bad matchup in Machida. So, in all honesty, I feel with Rampage, he was thinking to himself, like, the UFC sometimes screws him over. And that's why he's never really super motivated to fight anymore.
Well, did Rampage was supposed to fight Rashad? I think it was 107 when they went to Memphis, and that was supposed to be a big deal. But I think the movie got in the way.
Yeah, the movie got in the way, but that's the thing. If it's convenient for Rampage, it's okay. But if it's not convenient for Rampage, if Dana White says no, we can't do that, or no this, no that, Rampage gets angry. Rampage is a selfish person. He is a selfish person.
Absolutely. That's why I have trouble rooting for him. But I understand his value. He's still very entertaining in a way. But you know, the guy clearly, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think he takes his career very seriously, which is unfortunate. But when I look at this fight, and you know, you look at it as it's going to be the main event headline. Just to me, Tito Ortiz's value. There's no value there with him.
Nope.
Like, he's done nothing since what, 06? He beat Ryan Bader. Congrats. But to me, it's like, even when they put him in the co-main event force, to me, it's like whatever. You can put just about anybody in the co-main event. They're gonna watch Anderson Silva, regardless of who he fights. And which was the biggest fight of the year. So to me, Tito is just nothing there.
I just don't know what they're thinking with Tito. The thing about Tito was, Tito Ortiz should thank Frank Shamrock for leaving the UFC, because if Frank Shamrock was still around, Tito would never become light heavyweight champion. And Tito Ortiz is also praying that Gopastan pulls off the miracle, so that way he still has a UFC record.
He's praying. God. Even he said that his record's more impressive than John Jones's. He says he's beaten better guys. I'm like, last time I checked, John Jones has beaten like 4 former champions. And who the hell did you beat during your reign, Tito?
It's hard to compare, though, John Jones's reign and Tito Ortiz's reign, because, see, the thing is, don't forget, John Jones was facing 4 former champions, but really, to be honest, who hasn't held the light heavyweight title? That's a big name in the UFC. That belt switched hands so many times, because everyone in that division's really good. But the thing was, back when Tito first started fighting and was champion, a lot of the guys, mixed martial arts still wasn't as mixed as it is today. So Tito could have been fighting someone that is a better striker. He did lose to Randy, so maybe that's a point where you could say, well, he did lose to Randy, but Randy was just always so super good at that time. I mean, it all depends on the time frame. Like I said, when people look at GSP's reign now, or Anderson Silva's reign that he had, people are going to look at the time frame and say, well, whoever the hell might be welterweight champion at the time, that's like a young kid, maybe Rory steps up. When Rory starts defending that belt so many times, people are going to be like, oh, Rory's better than GSP. But then we can be like, well, look at who GSP faced. He faced Bitch, he faced Sarah, he faced Hughes, and all these other guys. And BJ Penn, you can throw in that second Penn fight, even though it wasn't good as the first Penn fight. People are going to bring up those names, but Rory could be fighting, like, I don't know, good people too that we haven't even seen yet. So it all depends on how you look at the year. I look at the years differently. Tito's reign was impressive, but he did lose to Couture, which kind of hurt him a little bit. While Jones, you kind of can't see who can beat him. The only two people that you really know that could beat him are Lyoto and Daniel Cormier, really.
Yeah, you have to include Cormier just because he's just a big, strong guy. And, you can definitely wrestle with Jones. And even, I don't know about throw him around, but Cormier could definitely do some damage on him. I don't know about the whole weight cut yet. I think he could do it because Mike Dolce has done a lot of good stuff with certain fighters, and I think Cormier is very dedicated, but
according to John Jones, he's not dedicated.
I love John Jones. I think he's very entertaining and definitely one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world. Nobody can deny it. But I have trouble believing in some of the things he says to me. He just says it because
I do agree with Rashad with his points. When Rashad said, like, you're a poser and all that stuff, I do agree with the Rashad when he would say some stuff about him.
Yeah, to me, like, I think Ariel said best he was talking about Kane one time. He says, I think Kane has a bigger fan base than someone like John Jones because Kane's real and Kane's just a simple guy who will get the job of Jones. To me, John Jones, he still has the diva aspect, which isn't good. And I thought he was improving on it. I thought he was getting more mature, but I don't know.
And also, let's also not forget, Kane is carrying a whole culture behind him, while John Jones isn't. John Jones is not carrying no culture. Like, John Jones is not like us Americans are like, yeah, man, go John Jones. It's like, John Jones does not relate to most Americans. Chris Weidman, maybe. Yeah, Chris Weidman can represent the Americans well. Matt Hughes represented Americans well. Randy Couture represented the Americans well. Chuck Liddell, because those are, middle-aged American men. Those look like most middle-aged American men. Chris Weidman looks like what a young, normal American guy would look like. John Jones, not all of us are fucking athletic freaks. Not all of us can be like LeBron James. So it's hard to really compare ourselves to John Jones. While Kane's carrying a great culture in Mexico behind him. And he has every right to be proud of who he is and stuff like that. Like, brown pride, go Kane, go, Kane has like a lot of big shoes to hold. While John Jones, he really doesn't. What shoes does John Jones have to hold? Just hold that light heavyweight title as long as you can?
That's a good point. But another thing with John Jones, I also heard he said Cormier looked horrible in his last fight. And while he doesn't realize that, he always says that Frank Mir is his good friend. It's like, if Cormier looked horrible, then what is Frank Mir? Like Frank is.
What did Frank Mir look like in that first fight? But I'm still looking forward to that Mir Barnett fight. Like you said, that's going to be a great fight.
Cannot wait to preview that. I'm still undecided because.
Are you still undecided?
I know I know Frank has trouble in terms of wrestling, and I know Josh could be a beast, but I am worried about Josh's conditioning, and he hasn't fallen in a while. The rust, I remember looking over him, man. I thought the rust got to him at some point. So, and I don't know. To me, I know people like to rip on Frank's conditioning, but I think Greg Jackson's camp is actually doing really good for him.
Wait, so he moved to Greg Jackson, Frank Mir? Did he?
He moved before the Cormier fight.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought he was still doing his usual shit.
He went to Jackson's, and that's why he looked in really tremendous shape. But I thought he didn't get gassed at all. I just thought Cormier was just, mauling him. He wasn't gonna let go. But
yeah. Which title fight are you most excited for? Which title fight are you most excited for upcoming? Is it besides Anderson and Weidman, because I think everyone's excited for that one, but besides that one, which one are you looking forward to most? GSP versus Hendricks or Pettis versus Henderson?
Oh, you include Kane JDS.
Oh, Kane JDS 3, yes, the greatest trilogy, because Dana White hates Randy Couture now.
Do you really hate that fight just because you think Dana's calling it the biggest trilogy is all bullshit?
Yes, it's the best heavyweight trilogy the UFC has had. I will say that. because Pedro Hizzo could never beat Randy Couture in a fight. So yes, it's the greatest heavyweight trilogy. But Randy and Chuck was the reason why the UFC was so successful before Lesnar, Rampage, and all these force gripping guys came in. Like Lesnar and Chuck is Liddell and fucking Couture is the best trilogy in UFC history. That is the best trilogy in UFC history.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could dispute that. But you know what's funny with the whole, Dana Couture situation? I remember Randy. I'm trying to think what. I think it was UFC on Fox 2 when Rashad fought Phil Davis and Bisping fought Sonnen. That was in January 2012. It's about a year and a half now, and they just want to speak anything of Randy. It's like how quickly things change. Randy Couture was on UFC programming almost 18 months ago, and now he just ostracized.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. It's like, wow.
Because Dana has grudges. I also think GSP versus Hughes is a better trilogy than Couture versus than JDS versus Kane. I think that's a better trilogy. There's more better trilogies than JDS versus Kane. That's what I'm getting at.
Josh Thompson versus Gilbert Melendez. I don't know
that.
about that.
No, I'm talking about in UFC history.
Not
Strikeforce history. Fuck that shit. What history is there?
Those are fun fights, though. I get you. Yeah. You know what we got trilogy of though? Matt Serra and George St. Pierre.
Yeah, we still got to finish off the trilogy there.
I wish we got to see. Or how about the trilogy? No, wait, never mind. I was thinking of Koscheck, GSP, but man, Koscheck, yeah, you might get cut, so I don't know about that. Or how about the John Fitch GSP trilogy?
Ooh, that doesn't appease me, but sure, why not?
They fought once, never mind. For some reason, I feel like John Fitch fought GSP twice. I don't know why, but
I just don't, because everyone's like, yeah, this is a great trilogy. Yeah, it's a great trilogy for the heavyweight division, but the only reason why these two are fighting again because that heavyweight division fucking sucks. That heavyweight division has no one in it besides Roy Nelson, Verdum, Overeem, Cormier, but he might move down. Mir, Barnett's coming back. I do like that Mir and Barnett are still around, but Barnett is someone that can break the mold, but it's just those two are the only ones, and guaranteed we'll be seeing Kane versus JDS4 in 2 years by now. Guaranteed.
I hope you're wrong. I don't think the heavyweight division sucks necessarily. I think that's a lot of talent, but if you want to talk about elite talent, top level talent, there's not a lot there.
Yeah, there's only two guys. Well, there's 3 guys that you could say are elite talent, and
I just hope as much as I said before, he should get a title shot a few months, but I do hope eventually Overeem gets a title shot because I think he can really be a problem.
Yeah, and also his interviews are funny. Yeah, I knew that I was going to win this fight. He just knows everything, apparently.
He's like, Junior's afraid of me. And then, 2 months later, Junior's like, I didn't want to fight Overeem because my friend Bigfoot knocked him silly and he's on my level at this point. And Junior said 2 months later, he's like, he's not on my level, I don't know.
He's not on my level.
He's a cool guy. I got to interview him. He is a super nice guy, but I would love to see him fight Overeem just because I think he'll get personal. He'll get angry.
Yeah.
Junior just, you'll see it for the first time really pissed off,
Yeah, I agree. Also, a little MMA fun trivia before we ended this. This was on August. It was a pay-per-view event between BJ Penn and Kenny Florian. And that's a classic fight that you guys should watch because you can see how idiotic Kenny Florian is by giving up his back to probably one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in MMA history in BJ Penn. So that's a great fight to watch. That was at UFC 101.
You think BJ's going to come back? I hear rumors. I don't know.
If you give him GSP again, yes. Do you want GSP?
You know why BJ Penn should stay retired? So he could always have the accolade of never being knocked out. Because there was Ariel talked to him after the Anderson Wyden fight. And you remember when Anderson said that
BJ's the best? Yeah. He's like,
yeah.
BJ's the best. He's the best.
And pretty much that what BJ Penn say? He's like, he goes up there, I was like, I don't think I'm the best, but I've never been knocked out, unlike Anderson.
They're friends though. BJ and Anderson are good friends, so they like to joke around at each other. BJ's never been knocked out. That's funny to think about in his career.
He's been TKO'd, but in terms fully knocked out, No.
No, like didn't he get?
He got TKO'd by George on a stoppage, I think.
Yeah, by a doctor stoppage.
Yeah, and I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
So shocked he didn't get knocked out by Roy or Nick Diaz.
Because dude, BJ just knows how to stand there and brawl. Like if you brawl with BJ, that's BJ's fight. You can't brawl with BJ. BJ is just crazy. But yeah, it's BJ Penn, future UFC Hall of Famer, one-time welterweight champion and one-time lightweight champion. The second man to hold 2 different titles in a weight class. So he has a great career. I'm not the biggest BJ Penn fan in the world, but he is always he was always very entertaining, and he was funny on the microphone. And if you're funny on the microphone, that equals win for me, because if you say funny stuff like you want to fight GSP for the second time, or that you are the best, or you're retiring but then you unretire, that's why I miss Jens Pulver. Also on this month, do you remember what Jens Pulver did?
Is he like some health nutritionist now? I hear
all UFC fighters are coming out, but on Jens Pulver, what Jens Pulver did on this day.
I heard about more knowledge, so that's why.
Jens Pulver on this month, what he did, he lost a fight in WEC, and he's like, man, dude, it's time for me to hang it up. It's time for me to retire. And then later on, they're like, are you retiring, Jens? And then the fans are like, Jens. He's like, no, man, I'm still in this. So he retired and then came out of retirement in the same minutes that he was being interviewed. So Jens Pulver.
It was 7 straight at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
He's a former UFC lightweight champion. I think he's the first lightweight champion in UFC history.
Jesus Christ, he's been knocked out by Leonard Garcia, man. Dude, you know what fight I was watching recently with my brother? We're just gonna BS below, that guy head out, but I was watching when Leonard Garcia fought Nam Pan. I think this was at 136. And if you just want to watch a fight of just ridiculously stupid stand-up, watch Leonard Garcia just try to throw haymakers the entire fight.
Mm-hmm.
And just Nam Pan just looking at him like, what are you doing?
That's the same fight as the Garcia and Tyson Griffin fight, I think. I can't remember if it was Tyson Griffin or someone else, but he would do the same exact shit. He would just throw random haymakers.
Throwing haymakers, man. Hey, props to him, man. Like, his last 4 fights, he didn't get finished. The last time he got finished was by that ridiculous submission by the Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, you should talk about that card quickly.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that. I think the big story, obviously, is the Davis and Cheetah fight. And
yeah. What'd you think about that? Because I have something to say about it, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
I am Cheetah 29-28. I had him losing, I think, the last round, if I remember correctly. But I definitely am winning the first ones. I just think these judges, man, like looking back, I just think they favor takedowns way too much.
I agree. I totally agree, because I feel like they don't fit. Because I've done amateur wrestling, and in amateur wrestling, if you reverse a takedown or if you stuff a takedown, you get points for that. And I don't know why the blue fuck when Machida stuffed like 4 takedowns, he doesn't get any points for stuffing a takedown. And I feel that it's ridiculous how takedowns are very favored when Phil Davis, if you look at his average, and if you're basing it off boxing, mostly the guy with the better percentages wins a fight. His average on takedowns was like 29%. Like he hit 29% of his takedowns that he was trying to attempt. Really, to be honest, I don't know. I just feel that if you're basing it on the boxing card, and in boxing percentages matter, he shouldn't have won that fight. But I do agree that Machida, he needs to become the dragon again. I'm tired of this dancing fucking Machida. I need the Machida that would actually strike with people, the Machida that would actually kick people, that would take the charge and not tell someone to come dance with them. Like, I miss the Machida that fought Couture, that fought Evans, that fought Thiago Silva. The Machida that fought Ortiz. I miss that Machida. I don't like this new Machida we're seeing. I hate this Machida. He's boring. He's terrible. I don't want to watch a Machida fight. I honestly don't. I honestly do not want to watch a Machida fight. I think he's so boring now. Like before, Machida was fun to watch because it was like he would do what Anderson Silva does. Just wait, and then strike. But now he's just so boring, and he's not going to get a rematch with Phil Davis because that fight sucked. No one wants to see that shit again. That's why he didn't fight at Rampage again. And in all honesty, Machida needs to be more aggressive instead of dancing around. Because if he's more aggressive, Machida's going to win. He's going to win more fights. And that's another thing, because a lot of people don't forget, octagon control is a part of the judges' scorecard. Maybe the judges thought, oh, well, he's pushing Bill Davis back. And like Bill Davis is pushing Machida backwards. That's octagon control. You know? That's
I just Machida lands some really good shots. I know he knocked him down the first down too. But no, I totally agree about all. I think we've been saying this for quite some time now. Look at the Henderson fight, and I think the appeal of Machida at this point is to see if he can do something like what he did to Randy, that crazy front kick.
Yeah.
I think it's the point where the only reason I watch Machida is just to see if he's gonna have some insane knockout, because I do think he needs killer instinct back then. Who knows? Maybe this will motivate him now, because I think everyone knows deep down Machida is I don't know how much better, but he's absolutely a better fighter. You can't convince me that Phil Davis is a better fighter than Leo Machida. Yeah, give me a break, people. Phil, I don't know who they're going to put him up next. I'd just like to see him maybe go against Glover, if anything. But then, I don't know, they might get Glover a touch. Who knows? But that was just a really disappointing performance. But I don't care. To me, judges have to stop favoring wrestlers so much, because I do think a nice, whether it's a jab or a kick, or an uppercut or a hook, if you knock somebody down with a strike, that should be, that you should get a lot more points, but you should be, almost guaranteed to win the round, unless someone's taking you down 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, because that's the one problem with MMA, is that they use the boxing scorecard, and the thing is, it's like knockdowns in MMA don't really mean that much, because there's no 10 count. So you can't give a fighter a 10-8 round for a knockdown, because knockdowns in MMA, they're just natural things. And then also there's that whole thing where, oh, maybe that fighter slipped. It may not look like a knockdown to a judge. It may have looked like, oh, Bill Davis slipped in that occasion, and people will be like, what are you watching? But it's true, Bill Davis could have slipped in that round to the judge's eye. So it's really hard to count knockdowns in MMA. So they really need to make their own scorecard. They really do. Dana needs to be like, listen up, motherfuckers. I want my own fucking scorecard. Otherwise, I'm fucking banning the UFC, and I can go to Brazil every fucking month. So, yeah, he could. He could go to Brazil every month. Those people would be like, ooh, Jose, ooh, Jose, ooh, Jose, like all day. So, what did you thought about the Zombie Aldo fight?
Pretty disappointing, but I knew Aldo was going to win. I don't know. I just felt like luster. I just knew Zombie was overmatched. And I think there was too much buzz on him. I do think he's an exciting fighter, but to me, it felt lackluster. That whole pay-per-view was pretty lackluster. I like John Lineker. I think he has potential, but guys got to start making weight. Otherwise, they're not going to give him shit.
Yeah, and Vitor clone number 2 that looks like the Fonz. He was pretty good.
Oh, what's his name?
Cesar something. I can't remember his last name, but he was good.
Yeah,
I liked watching him fight.
He's getting cut.
Who?
Vinny. Looks like he's going to get cut, man.
Oh.
Velez got knocked out by my Australian brother, Anthony the Hippo Perosh.
Oh, no. Not Vinny Malget. Did they say that he should be cut if he lost to Anthony Perosh?
Yeah, he said it himself. And he got knocked out in 14 seconds.
Perosh is up there in age. Isn't he like 40, something like that?
41, man.
Oh,
he just wants to keep playing, man. Good for him, Gotta keep him. It's just crazy. He got knocked out, I think it's 7 seconds by Ryan Jimmo. Ryan Jimmo. Let's not bring that name up. But and then he wins at 14 seconds. It was just, I really like Brazil cards, but it just felt lackluster. I expected that, and they didn't miss the whole Koscheck Maya fight, because that would have probably been even worse.
Oh, dude, I think that would actually brought some life to this Brazil card. In all honesty, I think it would have, because I was not impressed with Talis Leite's performance.
Yeah, it was weird. He was even back.
The only thing that was missing from the Talis Leite's performance was where he just lays on his back the whole fight and tells the other guy to come at him. That was the only thing missing. But the main event,
what Verdun used to do.
But the main event, it was just so like, Aldo was acting as Zombie was. They were just standing there.
I really want to see Cub get a shot, because I think Cub can, I think Aldo's definitely a better athlete than Swanson, but I think Swanson would actually be aggressive and you actually make it interesting.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree that Cub would. But we all know that, I don't know, because if he is facing Frankie next, that's going to be a tough fight, because Frankie always finds a way, unless the judges screw Frankie, which I'll laugh at. I'm sorry, I don't
And
give a...
his fans, oh, then his fans will be all in our case.
His fans, how dare you fucking hate Frankie Edgar? He's the greatest fucking fighter since fucking, who was a little hype train fighter that everyone loved, Miguel Torres? Is that someone that I can name, compare
Well, I
Frankie
heard
to?
him, jeez, I heard that name in a while. But, yeah, I'll never forget when Frankie lost to Aldo. People actually thought that
He did win one round, but when someone told me that he won 3 rounds, I'm like, what rounds were you watching? I only gave him 1 round, and that was the fourth.
round 4 I gave him.
Yeah, I gave him the 4th round too. That's the only thing I gave him that whole fight. And then Joe Rogan was like, I gave Frankie rounds 2, 3, and 4. All right, Joe, I
he
get
really
it.
said that? Jesus.
Dude, Joe Rogan is just, I love Joe Rogan, but he's always on someone's nuts. He's always someone's nut hugger. One last thing. When's Hector Lombard fighting again? When's Black Vitor fighting?
Hector Lombard?
Yeah, Black Vitor.
Yeah, I think he's playing on Nate Marquardt.
Oh, really? Nate the Great?
Yeah, Marquardt. Oh no, Lombard dropped to welterweight to fight Marquardt.
Yeah.
And that's a good move, man. Lombard, I don't know. He just can't last in no way. He's too small.
Dude, I think that if he can get a run going, and if Hendricks is just like every other hype machine that fights GSP that ends up losing, Lombard, he has a high chance because his takedown defense is nasty.
That's a good point. I like to see, maybe if he wins, give him Robbie Lawler and let them two roll it out.
Ooh.
I think you're going to get Robbie Lawler a big fight coming up. I know some people are very, they have questions about Robbie Lawler because, he's kind of reckless and I don't know about me, he's one-dimensional away, but I just think give him a shot at this point.
You know what? If Robbie Lawler does beat like a Lombard or something, I think that would get Nick Diaz out of retirement because Nick would be like, man, why is this motherfucker getting a title shot over me, man? Fuck this. Let me find. He ain't good. I'm better than him. I can beat George. I can beat you. George, I can beat you. I love Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz, please come out of retirement.
I don't care what people say. The man is missed. God, Nate's very exciting in his fights, but Nate doesn't talk. He's,
no, Nick is the best. Like when it comes, like Nick and CHAEL are like the two top. Nick, CHAEL, OVEREEM.
Sean Corkle, no, he's not here anymore.
Roy Nelson's pretty funny. Like I miss the guys that are entertaining. Like that's why I'm so happy OVEREEM's coming back because I cannot wait to watch Aaron Hawani interview him, and he just says that he broke down that move just completely. Like he saw the fight in his head. That's how it's gonna go. Like, yes, that's what I want to see. Like,
he'll keep the same facial expression.
Yeah, he won't move his face. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, thank you. It's time to go." I love OVEREEM, but
last thing because this was announced. They're doing a fight night in not Brazil, England, and they got Bisping versus Munoz in the main event. And Munoz recently said in an interview that Bisping has pillows as fists, and that was a diss.
That's a huge diss if you're a fighter. Oh, I don't know. That's a good fight.
First time ever, Munoz is getting booed very heavily.
Oh, dude, Munoz. He needs to be more aggressive. He needs to realize, hey, people don't want to pay to see a boring fight, and also he would be like that one guy that I think that also if Chris Weidman pulls off the miracle and and beats off the real Anderson Silva, that Munoz has a shot at being Weidman, because Weidman got him with that elbow, but Munoz will be like, he said it again, he's the real Mark Munoz. The real Mark Munoz is back, and the real Mark Munoz is that guy that is fun to watch in the ground and pound. Like I love watching Mark Munoz's ground and pound because I check my own ribs and my own cheek and my own arm to see if my arm is actually getting hurt because I can feel his shots when he just punches at people. Like his shots are deadly. So
I remember when he fought was it Damian Maia?
Mm-hmm.
God, he dominated that.
Or when he fought the recent fight, his return against
obviously Tim Boetsch.
Tim Boetsch. Those rib shots were nasty as hell.
Remember his performance against Lieben? That was impressive too.
But we don't talk bad about Chris Lieben on this show.
Yeah, my mistake. I was watching Dana White's vlog, and after Chris Lieben lost to Andrew Craig, he was like cursing, "This pussy doesn't fight. This guy doesn't fight." He's talking about that guy Andrew Craig, whoever.
Yeah. Chris Lieben, we love you. You did not lose that fight. You did win that fight in my eyes. Chris Lieben's undefeated in my eyes. Did you know that? He did not lose to Anderson Silva. Everyone says
to Derek Brunson, even though Levin was totally gassed out the entire fight. Oh man, that fight was awful. Poor guy, man. I want to note the co-main event, which is a very exciting fight. I'm not sure if it's co-main event caliber, but whatever, I'll take it. Ross Pearson versus the young assassin, Melvin Guillard.
Who? The young assassin in co-main?
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's kind of sketchy. It's like this guy wins one fight, now it's just his co-main event. But dude, he's fighting Ross Pearson. That fight's gonna be fireworks. I don't think anyone can complain. That fight's someone's getting knocked out.
Yep, that's for fucking sure.
You've been criticizing Ross Pearson. You want to see Ross Pearson step up, right?
Yes, and this is a fight against Melvin Guillard. That's gonna step him up.
No, knock his face in, I guess.
Because I feel Ross Pearson has a chance to overtake Bisping as the most popular UK fighter. Because Bisping's never gonna get a title shot unless Anderson Silva, well, which I predict he will. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Shut the fuck up, Chase. Chris Weidman has a shot." Shut the fuck up. I ain't giving Chris Weidman no shot against the real Anderson Silva. Not this fake Anderson Silva. I don't know. Maybe Anderson Silva is still going to be the fake Anderson Silva because did you hear who he's bringing in for training camp?
He ran like Chuck Norris.
Yeah. So maybe he's fucking around. Maybe Sensei Seagal is also going to be there and shit like that. So
why does he just stick with Big Nog, man? If I had Big Nog as my trainer, I would adore that guy, man. I just listen to everything.
I think, no, because he's coming to Thailand with him, but he's bringing Chuck Norris with him to Thailand.
Oh, man.
I don't know what he's doing. Like, if this is the real Silva, then I'm excited. But if it's the fake Silva, Chris Weidman is going to win the fight. You guys got to know, there's a difference between the real Silva and the fake Silva. Real Silva versus Sonnen versus Vitor versus Okami. That's the real Silva. No, not Okami.
Some chills from that Okami performances. My God, he looked like a murderer, man.
Yeah.
My God.
The Okami.
He eviscerated him.
But the fake Silva against Bonner, Griffin, that's not the Silva I want to watch. I want to watch the real Silva. So we'll have to wait and see. Anderson.
I'm sure he's gonna be absolutely.
Did you ever read that article that's been put out about?
No, I haven't.
It's because Deadspin's a comedy type of sports. They do a good job having fun with sports and stuff like that. And I like when people can make fun of sports and have fun with it, and people don't get butthurt. And they made an article about Anderson Silva trolling the fans. And he said, and the guy wrote in the article, he's like, Anderson Silva did the ultimate move. Not only did he lose his fight, but he's guaranteed a rematch in a sport that doesn't matter if you win. Anderson Silva put on such a great performance that I hope he never fights again. Because really, to be honest, it's true. He put on, he was making Weidman look dumb for most of the fight, besides that one takedown. But he was making Weidman look bad, and then he gets caught by a random fist, and then all of a sudden he gets an automatic rematch. So it's like he pulled the ultimate move. He's going to make more money out of this. So Deadspin knows how to have fun with the fights.
There's so many different theories at this point.
I think Silva just fucking got cocky and got caught, but it's true. Yeah. He's technically the real winner in this. Isn't he the real winner technically? Because not only did he lose and get paid $2 million for losing, but he's also going to be getting an automatic rematch in the biggest rematch in UFC history, where he's going to make a lot more money.
And he could possibly break pay-per-view records, even though I still think Lesnar will always be the biggest pay-per-view draw, 1.7 million. But
yeah, that's
knows, man. Hey, if that women's, Ronda and Misha, if they continue building this up really good like they have, I think, that'll be even more motivation to buy the pay-per-view. So,
yeah.
I think the impact of Ronda and Misha.
And not only that, also, if CHAEL does beat Shogun and he does fight Vitor, you don't think that would also get people being like, I got to see this shit?
Yeah, that's just like the ultimate pay-per-view. I know Dana's just going to look at that like, yeah, we're going to make that fight happen.
Do you think he should add, if he has room, do you think like if Jose is clear enough and Cub is clear to go that he could add those two?
I don't think they can go that crazy, man. 3 title fights.
I mean, hey, it's the biggest. Demetrius, what's Demetrius Johnson doing at that point?
That's good. Who knows, man? Don't forget they always have the Super Bowl card later, and they're doing the Super Bowl card in New Jersey this year, and they're gonna make that huge. And hopefully I'll be there. But to me, they always put
Alan. What if
and it's gonna be in Jersey?
What if your Falcons make the Super Bowl? What are you gonna do then?
Hopefully I'll go to both events.
You'll go to the UFC, just stay up the whole day, then fucking go to the Super Bowl, dead shit tired, drink a bunch of beers, be fucked up, and pass out, and don't wake up till Wednesday.
Don't say that.
Don't wake up till Wednesday. That's what you're going to be doing if they're playing it. They're coming to LA in the beginning of the year.
Ooh, what?
They're coming to LA in the beginning of the year, Los Angeles.
UFC or the Falcons?
UFC.
They are?
Yeah, that's what Dana said. They're like at the Los Angeles Fan Expo. He was like,
"Oh, in 2014, you mean?"
Yeah, in 2014. Yeah, they're coming in the beginning.
In September. I'm like, they're going to Canada.
No, in January they said that they would be here. In January or February, they said they would be here.
That's cool. Well, I'm hoping for that event I could work press again because I got to work press at the. I'm hoping now I could be like a certified member where I can actually get discounts on shit. But who knows at this point? Because the Super Bowl is going to be a lot of money, and that's going to take a big dent on everything.
Hey, you know what? Maybe there'll be a big job opportunity. I don't know. We definitely have to talk some NFL soon.
Yeah, that too, and we're going to preview SummerSlam on, I think, we're good for Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Tuesday, talk about those WWE Summerslams. The Beard is here versus the Champ is here.
I hope the whole full
Did you see the Punk and Cena, the Punk and Lesnar shirt? Did you see that shirt?
Yeah, it's a cool shirt. Speaking of one last thing about Brock, how awesome was that promo?
Oh, that was amazing. The SmackDown one? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I was like, hey, what did he say? I don't care if you train at your little local MMA gym.
Yeah.
Dude, this is why Brock Lesnar's the man. I don't get if you hate Brock Lesnar, shame on you people. Yes, I know he's awesome. He's probably a big asshole, but the guy is just he's money.
See, I feel Lesnar, he works better when you give him that MMA/boxing type of interview where he can just say whatever the fuck he wants in the dark and stuff like that. I think he's amazing at those. Like, I remember, was it an ESPN or an MMA interview where the guy's like, do you do steroids? He's like, does it look like I fucking do steroids? And he threw a chair. And I was like, fuck yes. Or when he was watching the Spurs play, he's like, fuck Steve Mazzagatti, and he broke his door. That's Brock Lesnar. Like, I've always been mixed about Brock Lesnar, but I do love what he says on the mic. He's just fucking awesome. He's one of those funny guys. Like, I would rather drink a Coors Light because Bud Light ain't paying me shit.
Man. Yeah, it's just he's money, man. I can't wait for that match. So we're gonna talk about that Tuesday, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that Tuesday, the WWE SummerSlam, because in all honesty, that's when pretty much everything should be solid and made, right? Everything would be announced by then.
So. That'll be cool.
The only thing we probably will be missing is like some stupid match with Great Khali and Santino Marella's return. Oh, your boy Santino's returning in September.
Yes.
Yeah, he's announced it. I don't know if you have Showtime, but there's a new show called Ray Donovan, and it's actually a pretty good show. But I can't take it seriously because the main character looks just like Santino Marella, and it's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious. I just laugh at him because he looks like Santino Marella.
I'm looking at this thing right now. It's called When We Were Bouncers. It's like this show series. So they had Pat Miletich last week, and now they're having Samoa Joe on. It's like that's like the weirdest. That's like the weirdest correlation.
It's like Ink Masters when they had some random MMA fighter, and then they had Jeff Hardy the next week.
What? Oh, all right, that makes sense. Sorry, I couldn't picture Jeff Hardy as a bouncer.
Wait, what? This is called The Bouncers and Pat Miletich, wasn't it?
It's When We Were Bouncers, like the story of Bouncers. They had Pat Miletich last week. I don't know, someone retweeted this, and I checked it out. I think Stone Cold retweeted it. So they had Pat Miletich on it, the original Croatian sensation. Now they have good old Samoa Joe.
Pat Miletich is a legend in MMA. Go fucking look him up, all these people who don't know who the hell he is. Him and
Boss Rudin. I don't know who Boss Rudin is.
Oh, dude, I hate when people don't know who Boss Rudin is. Who is that one guy too for the welterweight? Kyle Uno? Is that his name? No, not Kyle Uno. Carlos Newton. Carlos Newton.
Newton, yeah.
Go look him up. He used to be good. He used to be a bad boy back in the day. Great fighters. I missed. And Carlos Newton was hilarious too. He would walk out in a cage with like all this random stuff.
All right, man. It was great talking to you.
Yeah.
And
we'll talk Tuesday.
We'll be back covering all of SummerSlam and Raw too. We'll cover
We'll cover some more.
It's a great build up tomorrow. I'm expecting it.
Hey, last week's episode was pretty good, so this next one should be good. You can follow.
Right?
Huh?
You say you're not going to SummerSlam?
No, I have classes. I would be going to SummerSlam, people, but I have classes the next day at 8 in the morning. It's not worth a trip to LA, going there, being there from 5 to 8, having to deal with the traffic to get out of Staples Center, traffic to get out of LA, staying there until getting home at 1 in the morning pretty much, because traffic at night is crazy in LA, especially for Sundays for whatever reason, and then having to wake up at 8 in the morning to go to a class, a statistics class. If I had a night class, oh fuck yeah, I'm going to SummerSlam. But I'm upset that I'm missing the SummerSlam. I truly am upset, because I would be buying
super stacked.
I would be buying that Brock Lesnar and CM Punk shirt, because I love that shirt. I am upset that I am missing this SummerSlam. It's not like I said, oh no, I don't want to go. It's because school is the next day and education is important, kids.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, you'll be going to Bound for Glory. And oh, by the way, it's your hero's birthday today.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan. You know what, brother? I am happy that Chase gave me a fucking shout out on his goddamn show about MMA. That's not about TNA, but we promote MMA on TNA, brother. So you know what, people? What you can do is follow Alan on Twitter at Alan_Stirk. Follow me on Twitter at Hulk Hogan, hashtag HH, hashtag Ask Dixie, and follow Chase Oliver 68 on Twitter at Chase Oliver 68, motherfuckers. I'm out of here, dude. Remember, it's my fucking birthday, so say fucking happy birthday to me. This will be posted on Monday, though, so it doesn't even fucking matter what you guys say. But still, wish me a happy birthday, dude. Hashtag Hulk Hogan Day, bro.